Welcome to the Absolute Mom Sense Podcast. Let's see. I'm like going through my head, making sure that I don't forget to say anything.
Talk about summer.
Okay.
It's summer.
So, yes, it is summer. Ha ha. And I laugh. I'm just kidding. No, I'm only laughing because it's like out where we're living. Well, oh my goodness. Okay. Where we live.
You got this.
It is cold. It's like 50 degrees is going to be the high today.
Yeah.
So we're like, happy summer
Yeah.
in our sweaters and all our warm gear. But being that it's summer, I want to talk about family vacations. How to family vacation and like how to make it easy or like if it's inevitably hard based off of how many kids you have or whatever.
Yeah.
And even like some past family vacations, whether it was while you were a mom or like before you became a mom as a family growing up and everything. So, family vacations.
Okay, what you got planned? Where are you going?
Well, first of all, I wanted to talk about it.
Fun.
Or I'm like, I want to talk about it because we're going to go on Friday and we're going to go to St. George and then we are going
This
to
Friday?
go. Yeah.
You're leaving me?
Yeah.
I didn't know this. I'll be gone the next week.
Oh, no. So
We'll figure that out later.
I know. I'm like, oh.
I'm just like putting the,
Okay,
pieces together.
so we're going to go to St. George, and then we're going to go to California. We're going to go to the beach. We're going to go to Disneyland. This is the first time ever that I've ever done a big family vacation.
Yeah.
The biggest that I've done up to this point was going to St. George. We were there for like 4 days, and then we came back, and that was it.
Yeah.
We just played in St. George, which was fun. It was
great.
a family vacation and everything. But this is like a new...
Level.
Yeah.
Good luck.
It really does feel like that. I feel like I've graduated and now like I'm a big mom. You know what I mean? Like I grew up.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, so how do we do this? Because also, besides that, most of the time when I do vacation, like my mom comes and she does a lot of the work for me. So I'm like, okay, this is new. So tell me about some...
I've got some tips.
Tell me about some family vacations first that you've had. Big ones and small ones and everything.
We didn't grow up doing like big vacations.
Mm-hmm.
We vacationed a lot. We were like Lake Powellers.
Okay.
Like we lived at Lake Powell like 6 times every summer. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
So we didn't do big vacations ever.
You just did them a lot.
We just did a lot. Like once a month we'd go run down there.
Oh, wow.
So we did do Hawaii one time, or maybe it was twice.
What?
I can't remember now. Oh,
She's
no.
like, oh, we're not big family vacationers.
No, but that's all we did. There was like this one, I was probably like 13.
Wow.
Yeah, and we've like saved up. Mom, like, you can have hamburgers or you guys can have Hawaii. So we like saved up. We went and did all of our shopping, got the cutest clothes, and went over with some family.
Wow, that's fun.
That's what we had, yeah.
Okay, so then what about as a mom?
Yeah, we don't venture out there that much. We probably camp once or twice a year, and then we're just now starting to get to the point of like recovery of having all these babies. So now we're planning like a yearly thing.
Okay,
So.
I see. When I only had 2 kids, we went camping once, and like that was its own thing, and then we didn't camp again for like 2 or 3 more years after that.
Yeah.
And then it became a yearly thing.
Yeah.
At least once a year, I go camping. But then besides that, I've got family like up in Idaho. And so that has become a yearly thing where we go at least once a year to go to Idaho and then once a year to go camping. And that's the yearly things.
That's the hard one.
Like
Camping.
I know. Camping is hard.
That's hard.
That happens every year.
Yeah.
But then on occasion, we'll throw in these other family
Fun
vacations.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also, I consider like a theme park a family vacation. Right?
Yeah,
You know,
for
because
sure.
we do a day and we're like, okay, we're going to go to this theme park in Utah. It's Lagoon. And everybody goes to Lagoon.
Yeah.
And so
You
last
consider
summer,
that a vacation?
I do. It's a big
Nice.
event.
I'm going to tell my kids that. We had a family vacation.
It is a big event.
Oh.
Also, it's expensive.
I refuse
So I'm
to go
like,
there.
I actually got a really good deal last year, and that was the first year I've ever taken my kids. But I only took Ava, Jazz, Addie, and Nova.
Yeah.
We got there at like 10 a.m. when it opened, 10:30 maybe, but we didn't last, like, we lasted until 7 p.m. It was like, okay, let's go home.
We are for sure done. And did you want to go back again?
I didn't, not that year. I was like, okay.
I did it for the year, you guys.
Yes, it
was
was
kids
hard.
could go every day. I started, my kids are like begging for lagoon passes. I'm like, oh, I know. I'm not doing it.
I considered even doing it that last summer. I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get lagoon passes. We're going to go like at least once a week and make this a thing. After going that first time, because you can go and then use that to buy your season pass. Yeah. And so I was like, I'm just going to do that so I can get a feel for it. Yeah. After the vacation.
You were done.
I was done. Done.
So
exhausting.
It was hard. And you're like, where are the kids? What are we eating? It's a rough one.
And is it fun?
I don't know.
It depends.
I think growing up I loved lagoon, but now like as a mom I'm like, I literally my insides cannot do that again. All the rides, I'm like sick. I'm walking around like an old person, like nauseous and like I just want to go home to my bed.
I know. I do feel like becoming a mom just makes me boring. Yeah. All of a sudden. And I'm and for me, this pregnancy has been really, really hard. And the thought of getting up was like, no, I don't want to. Yeah. Like, I just don't want to. Yeah. And so summer was coming up, and I'm like I have to get up and go do stuff with my kids. Like, do you know how much work that is?
It's a lot. It takes like at least a day planning.
It is. Thankfully, it's come back, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for the summer. I'm ready to hit it hard. But like, I tried last week, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna go to here. We're gonna go to the park. We went to the park like 3 times last week. We went to the library. We
should have got me beat.
Went shopping, and that's something. Yeah. For me, I hate shopping. So
wait, clothing shopping?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yep. But with all my kids, okay?
Oh, fun. No. I love it with all the kids, and you're like, this is your sets, and here's your summer clothes.
See, so shopping for me is a job.
Yeah.
So I go in there with like a goal in mind.
Yeah.
And we're like going to get in there and get all the good deals, and then we're going to get the clothes tried on, because I'm not buying anything that you don't love and that doesn't fit you and everything.
You do try-ons?
I cannot. I cannot walk out of that store.
Oh, no wonder.
So it's like this big ordeal. I packed a snack and I packed a lunch because I knew it was going to take that long. Yeah. And so I'm in there like shuffling through these clothes, looking through every single one. I got to find the best deals. I got to do it. And it was a buy one, get one free on like stickered or stamped items or something. And so then I'm like, okay, like this is a job. We're going through everything. And then I would send each kid with their pile, like, you go while I'm looking for the next set of clothes.
She makes it hard.
Because now when I'm home, like, we're good. Yeah. I know I don't have to go back.
Yeah.
I know I don't have to try to be like, oh, this doesn't fit, or this doesn't work, or I don't love this.
Oh, boy.
So it was a...
Have you learned about online shopping yet? And you just know your stores? Like, I just know Old Navy's going to fit. I just know Gap's going to fit. I just know.
That's
Target's
true.
Good. Like, my sizes are good.
And I mean, like, I do occasionally do that, but like... Oh, man. When I need the big loads, and I'm like, I'm just going to go and just go. You know?
You guys. We could do a whole thing on just shopping. I could teach you guys a lot. I'm so good at this. Everybody out shopping in the stores. No. I'm serious. Like, everything. I did all my summer clothes, the whole summer wardrobe back in March. Delivered straight to my door. It was so nice.
See, and you're right.
And then it comes, and I'm like, kids, the package is here. Like, this one's yours. We get all their cute little stacks. Oh,
it's so fun.
It's so fun. I love shopping. Did you see me light up?
I did. I could tell. I could feel it.
I'm getting so good.
So, I'm just saying, like, I did that last week, and this week brave. I'm like, oh.
Like, all another
summer,
week?
All summer I gotta do this. So.
You gotta be smart like me. Like, get your barbecue set up, get your pool set up.
I know.
Get your acreage set up.
But see, that's a vacation to me.
I know.
Every day.
I just go out there. I'm like, why? I got a KSL $100 couch sitting out there, and I love it. And I sit out there, and the kids just swim. Oh, you guys are hungry? Just throw some some hamburgers on the barbecue.
Oh, here you go.
Stay out of the house.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's our summer.
One day we'll get there. I'm getting my backyard
Vacations
redone.
Or yard. Take your pick. I chose the yard.
I know, and I did both this year, so I'm like, I'm feeling
Spoiled.
pretty proud of myself. But I will say, this Disney trip has been 10 years in the making.
Yeah.
I've been dying to take my kids here for 10 years since I had my first kid. I was like, I'm going to Disneyland.
Why?
I don't know. It's just
everybody goes to Disneyland. I'm like,
what
is there?
What is there? It's fun. It's the magical
It's like
place
cute.
on Earth, right? Is that not what it's called? I don't know.
It's literally like the last place I would ever choose to go.
Really? Have you ever been?
No.
Okay,
but I guess,
But
see, my dad grew up in California, and he's like, it's like lagoons better than I'm not
okay.
You enjoy
okay.
it. I'm not gonna burst your bubbles.
No, and see, I'm not even gonna fight over it because I get what he's saying. It's not a theme park. It's not like an amusement park.
It's like an experience
or whatever. It is that. And so for me,
it is a theme park, not an amusement park.
Yeah, something.
I would go that way.
It's not like the big rides.
Yeah.
That's not the point of it.
Yeah. You're just there to experience.
Right. And so then for me, I'm like, okay, so I went when I was turning 10. So I was almost 10 when I was there. And like it was so fun to be with my family. It was so fun. It wasn't like a let's go, let's be everywhere, hurry, and so much energy.
Yeah.
It was just, so my mom had, my older brother was with me. I was almost 10, and then I had 2 younger brothers who were like, I think almost 4, and then 1 baby. So I saw my mom with the babies, and she just like walked around in her stroller and everything with the babies, and I kind of went on some of the rides and everything. We saw the characters, and for me the characters were a huge deal.
Really?
Like I had an autograph book and everything, so I would go to the princesses and be like, "Can I get your autograph?" and then take a picture, and it was just so fun. But I remember as a kid watching my mom with the babies being like, "That looks so fun." It looks so fun to be a mom with little babies and go and see their face light. Because I watched my little brother when he would see the characters, and for him it was all real.
Yeah.
For me, like I know that it's just dressed up in costume. But for my little brothers, it was real. And so he would get so excited when he would see Pinocchio and Tigger and Pooh Bear and everybody else that he's been seeing on the TV for however long. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, this looks so fun. And so it's been my dream ever since I became a mom that I'm like, I want to see my kids look at that and be like, oh, this is so fun. Yeah. So I'm actually really excited that I am pregnant going, because I'm not going to feel like I have to. Yeah. I'm not going to feel like I have to go and do and be a part of all the big rides and everything like that. Yeah. I get to just use my pregnancy pass and be like, oh, sorry, I'm out.
Dad, you got this.
Go ahead. Go ahead and go on all the big rides, and I'm just going to be there. It's like a park. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So, except for a lot cooler, I think.
You'll have to let me know.
So, I'm excited. I'm really excited for it. I am like going through tons of checklists and being like, okay, what do we need? How do I pack the least? Right? Yeah. The most that I need, but then in the least amount of space and everything.
That's what I was going to say. If there's like washer and dryers, like minimal clothing.
Yep.
And then just
there is. And I had to make sure that, because I was like, I need these things accessible, because that's the other thing, is that my mom had 2 babies and then 2 older kids. I've got 3 babies and 3 older kids, but they're not older. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, babies. I've got lots of kids, and they're all young, so it's a perfect place to take them. Yeah. But it's like, wow, it's a lot of work.
Just breathe. Do some yoga.
I know.
Take your calm oil.
And besides that, I'm like a super, super next level cheapskate. Like I know I am. I don't need somebody to tell me that, but I am. And so I went and bought all of their like Disney shirts and everything here, so that I didn't have to go buy them there. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I've got a lot of kids. Do you know how much money that is?
Yeah. And those shirts are like,
I know.
I heard they're super expensive.
They are. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, like it's ridiculous. I can't afford to just on shirts. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense.
Just be smart about it. Like save that for like the churros there. I heard those are really good.
Exactly. So we'll like get treats and things, but as far as meals, yeah. So I actually came up with a really good idea. I have to tell you, because I'm so proud of myself. Okay. Anybody who has littles that's going to Disneyland, maybe try this out. So I am going to go first thing in the morning, and I'm going to pack sandwiches, pack the lunch. And so we'll bring that. We're going to go, we're going to play all morning, have lunch there. And because I have a lot of little babies and Disneyland's open until 10, 11, midnight. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, there's no way we're going to last the entire day at the park. Plus I'm pregnant, I'm going to get tired. So my hotel is like 6 minutes away from Disneyland. Yeah. So I'm leaving Disneyland right after we've had lunch. I'm going to take all the babies back to the hotel. We're going to nap. And then we are going to eat dinner at the hotel because I'm packing dinners, by the way. I've been doing freezer meals and everything. Wow. So I'm going to take a cooler that has freezer meals. And then we will eat dinner, me and the babies, at the hotel. And then I'll bring it for the other ones that can stop and eat some dinner. And so what that's going to allow me to do... We can
smart.
We can get all the snacks and everything that we want at Disneyland, the souvenirs and the fun stuff and everything, but I don't have to stress about the meals.
Yeah, and they're healthy, good meals. You know, they're going to be on track,
That was the main thing too, is because I know my kids, and even me, when you eat out that often and that much, your body just feels like bleh.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
And so then... like, you're not even going to have fun there anyways. Yeah. And so I've been thinking about this. So we've been doing freezer meals in the meantime. The next couple meals that we have, we're just making bulk and then just freezing a ton of it so that we can just take it down there with us.
Wow.
And, yeah, so I know it sounds a little excessive, but I swear it's going to work. And then it gives me and the babies a break during the day so that we can go home and just, like, relax a little bit for real.
And the air condition.
Exactly. Yeah. I was thinking, well, I'll just bring the stroller and, like, I'll find some shade and try to take a nap. And I'm like, I know I'm not going to be able to sleep.
Yeah.
You can't sleep in Disneyland with babies and just actually fall asleep, right? So, I thought this through. I'm pretty excited.
That's like next level.
I know.
Wow.
I know. I'm very proud of myself. I thought I had
some like tips for her. No.
Wow. I'm pretty proud of myself. So,
good job.
Yeah, we are ready. We are getting ready, but I feel like mentally prepared for this trip now.
Wow.
I'm excited.
Good job.
Camping is something else, though.
Oh, man. I can't even say the word.
Camping's probably my least favorite vacation.
It's like dirty.
It's dirty. It's
your
gross.
Whole car, all the kids, like
yes. And then coming home from it is the worst.
Everything smells like campfire. Every single thing.
Everything smells like campfire. I'm like literally walking in with my whole vehicle full of blankets, pillows, clothes, and everything, and you just have to bring it in, just like shuffle through the laundry batches, and it takes you days to get it
unless you go to the laundromat.
You could do that
with those big huge sleeping bags. I'm just saying.
No kidding.
Just go shove them
That's a good idea. Okay, then. Might be worth it.
Go to the laundromat.
Because of those big
don't even go home first. Like that's like a stop on the way home.
Yeah, it's rough. Camping is next level. Okay, so now that I've bored y'all with
I'm excited. I feel excited for you. Am I missing something here?
I am so excited. I really am. I'm pumped. But I want to see like what other moms and parents are saying about vacationing, camping, trips, and how to do that with big families.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So what was your biggest family vacation and how many kids were with you? Whether you were the mom or you were the kid. Biggest family vacation.
Obviously it's with my own kids because we have the most kids. But yeah, we just did one this last March to St. George. That's our biggest one. I'm telling you, like, we literally just go camping. Like, we have not done, like, we've taken a few kids, like, out to California and a few trips like that, but never, like, the whole family. So this last St. George trip was...
a big one.
Big one with all the kids.
And how was it?
It was amazing.
Was it?
Yeah. There was a lot of prep work involved, like expectations. I kept them pretty low. But on the way home, we had some car trouble with that many kids. On a weekend and everywhere is closed and it was a situation.
What happened?
So we're like driving in our we have a big bus, right? Like our big, huge passenger van. I'm like, hey, honey, you feel that? And our van's swaying. And I'm like, something's a little off back there. And I'm not sure, like, the high winds down here. I don't know. So he gets in and he's driving. He's like, nah, something's up. So we decide on the way home, because this is Friday. We're going home Saturday. He's like, we'll just stop in one of the little towns on the way home and see what's going on with our vehicle, right? I'm like, okay. Okay, whatever you say. So we stop in this little, like, teeny little town. And I'm a smart mom. On the way off the exit, I notice a park.
You are
That's
smart.
a nice park. I wonder why I noticed that. Go down the road, stop at everywhere's closed at 1 o'clock on Saturdays in this little teeny town. 1 o'clock. And I'm like, where are we? Like, okay.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. And so we pull up to this gas station. There's like a nice Ace Hardware behind it. And this amazing young man comes out to our vehicle and he's like, "Oh, I got you. Like, I'll get under there." And he's under there for free looking at everything. And he's like, "Yeah, your sway bar, like the bolt on it is loose."
Okay.
There's a sway bar on vehicles, I guess. I don't know. So I'm like, "Oh, cool. Like, he's awesome." So we're all sitting in the car. Send a few kids over to Ace Hardware with their leftover souvenir money. Go buy some treats, right? We're just chilling. The kid gets under there and breaks the bolt. When he's trying to tighten it. And so I'm like, chill mode, right? Bring it together to you. Okay, I'm going to be easy going. I got grouchy teenagers in the back of the van. They're all like sleeping and like how they are. So I'm like, little kids, like, let's get away from these ornery people, right? So I'm like, the park. So I take the whole crew, walk at least a mile.
Oh, wow.
It was a long ways. And I'm a good mama and I take them down to the park and I'm like, keeping it all together, right? We go get ice cream. We're just like gonna hang out for the day. It was I kept calling Jonathan, like calling back, like, how's it going? Oh, they sent this guy over to get a bolt and it's the wrong one, so they have to go do another run back there, and there's no bolts.
Oh my!
So they had to call in a manager, like some other more experienced guy to come in, like Jimmy rig it. And we're still like hours from home, and it's the weekend, and it was a hot mess.
Oh my!
I made it work.
You like it? It worked out. So would you say that now that's funny, because the one thing that Wade keeps saying to me about this whole California trip is the vehicle.
Make sure your car is appropriate, y'all.
Because we're gonna be driving from Utah all the way to California. It's not in one go. Yeah. Which is nice. Yeah. But like, there's always that concern. Yeah. What about the vehicle? And so that story, I don't think you should have told me.
There's a lot of I told you so's, by the way. There's a lot of like husband and wife looking like, did I not say?
And see, like, I'm like totally dreading that, because I'm like, no, we'll be fine.
No.
The vehicle's fine.
No.
It's fine.
No.
Obviously,
it
we're
costs
going to
a lot
take it.
more.
No. We're going to take it and like get it up to par before we go.
Yeah. Check your tires. We also had, I was like, hey, honey, how are the tires for the trip? Oh, they're great. Are they? Are they? Because we woke up and it wasn't so great.
Would you say that is the most like horrific vacation experience?
Oh no, I almost died one time.
Oh, it gets better. Tell me that.
Okay, so in Hawaii, you guys ever heard of toilet bowls in Hawaii? Like out in the ocean, they have the rocks, and then there's like a toilet bowl. Right? So it's like this water will come up and then go back down. So it comes up and it's like literally like the toilet flushes and goes out there. Huh. So we're like, oh, that's cool. Let's put our feet in there. Yeah, I got flushed. And mom's nowhere around to save me, and I'm just with friends, and so I get sucked into the toilet bowl, and like you're like it's serious, like you could die. I'm not even kidding you.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. So it's like spinning me around, and I'm underwater and holding my breath because you're literally being like flushed around in like sand and ocean water, and it's freaking scary. And I for sure was gonna die. I could have died, you guys. I'm still here, but I could have died. And it like shoots you out into the ocean. You've been to the ocean before?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, that's salt.
Yes.
And sand everywhere, and I like come up, and I'm like clear out in the ocean, and the waves just trying to like get through the current and get back in after being flushed. Like, yeah, I could have died.
Oh my goodness. So how did you get out?
Angels. Like, I literally don't know. I look back and I'm like, oh my word, like I don't even know.
Wow.
Like, it was really scary.
Wow.
Yeah.
We needed Tia here.
You did, for sure.
So
I don't know what you guys would do without me. Yeah.
Wow, that's
I've
insane.
had a few like some moments.
Some near-death experiences.
Seriously, though.
Wow. See, like mine haven't been that brutal.
Yeah.
I think my worst experience And I didn't have kids on this vacation, but I went to Florida. We get up first thing in the morning. We go to Universal Studios, and Florida, like, I'm from Utah. It's dry here. It is very dry here. Yeah. In Florida, I swear, it's like you walk out there and instantly it's like, yeah, there's just so much moisture in the air, and I'm not used to that. And so we spent all day at Universal Studios, and like, I'm dripping in sweat and humid. Yeah. Like, it's just not a good feeling. Mm-hmm. And we spend the entire day at Universal Studios going on all the rides and everything. It's so fun. And then we are wiped by the end of the day. Yeah. And gross. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, I feel disgusting. Yeah. And so we get to the hotel, and we're trying to get into the door, and the key won't work. Like, it's just not working. And so we try over and over again, and finally Wade's like, I'm just going to go talk to the hotel people. But it's late, and so then we're, like, trying to find somebody to help us get into our room. And so I literally, like, I had a little backpack that I was carrying around Universal Studios with me. I laid that down right in front of the door, and I just laid down, and I was like, okay, yeah, you go get him. I'm going to lay down and take a nap. I'm so tired while he went to go get the people. They came. They could not get us into the room. What? Yeah, and all my clothes and everything is in that room. It's locked. No. Nobody can get us in there. And we have to get up the next morning to get on our cruise ship. And so I'm like,
I need sleep and I need a shower now. I know. I want my clothes.
And I'm like, I'm exhausted. It's gross and everything, and I don't have anything, and so we couldn't get in. He's like, oh, I'll just get you in a new suite, and I'm like, I don't want a new suite.
My stuff.
I'm like, I need to get in there, and he's like, well, we can't get in there until the repairman comes. Well, what time do they start? And it's like 10 a.m. And I'm like, oh boy. Okay. So then we get into a new room, and I'm like, okay, I have no shampoo, conditioner, and all this stuff, and, like, my hair needs a special type, okay? Yeah. And so it's miserable. Shampoo. Yeah. So I have to shower, because I'm not about to get into a bed like that. Oh, yeah. No way, right? So I shower, and I'm just like, I'm just going to get in bed. And then the next morning, I had to put all my nasty clothes back on so that I could get into the room. And I'm like, okay. They finally got us in there. Wow. Then because I put on my nasty clothes, it was just
shower again.
Right. It's the mental thing. So I'm like, okay, I gotta go shower again, get redressed. We barely make it to the cruise ship on time. Ooh. And I'm like,
cruises are scary.
That was another experience. Yeah. I didn't think that I would ever go through something like that. Yeah. So that was a little bit rough. It was my the same trip, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Because we got on that cruise ship. It was. Okay.
You guys.
It gets better. Okay, so.
Just so you know, I could turn this dirty real quick. I'm fighting so hard. Keep it PG, right? So, you slept naked then. This could have been
I had to.
Your husband was probably like, yes. No clothes.
Oh, poor girl.
Okay, so back to our program.
You were just sitting on that for a long time.
Like, when you see my little smiles, I really have a lot to say, and I just can't. My brain automatically goes bad.
I'm like flushing now. Okay, so
calm it down.
We're not even going to be able to get to the other mom stories. This is too much fun. Okay.
We don't need them.
So, then we get on. I know, I'm like,
the cheeks are a problem.
So we get on the cruise ship. Finally, we make it and everything. And the cruise goes to a couple of places in the Bahamas. So I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. So we go around, we shop a little bit of the Bahamas, and then we see these mopeds. First of all, I am terrified of, like, motorcycles, mopeds, anything like that. I have a brother. I have an older brother. Yeah. And I'm, like, terrified of those things. Yeah. But Wade convinces me, and he's like, no, it's going to be really fun because there's a little, they were telling us that you can, like, drive to a little spot on the beach and have your own little area. Yeah. at the beach. So we're like, okay. And he's like cruising around and I'm like, you know how to drive one of these things, right?
Wait,
like,
y'all are sharing one?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no way I would drive one by myself. I can't do that. Like, I'm terrified of these things. So I'm like, you know how to drive this, right, Wade? And he's like, oh yeah, I got this. So I'm like, okay. So I jump on the back of it and I'm like, this the whole time. I can't even open my eyes. Don't kill me. I'm like, if I see it, it's gonna be worse because I just picture things or I imagine things. So I'm like riding on it like this, and he finds a spot on the beach, and I'm like, okay, great, this is awesome.
Yeah,
it's gonna be so fun. So we go to the beach, and it was really cool. It was like our own little spot.
Aww.
And then the water was really clean. It was really warm. It was great. We had a great time. And then we get back on the moped, and like I had a little swim cover up, but it got wet. So it's like dripping salt water all over me. Mm-hmm. Everything's just covered in salt water. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. So we jump on the moped and we have to drive all the way back. But he's like, hey, let's take the scenic route. Let's drive around the place a little bit until the boat leaves. We have time. So I'm like, okay. So I'm on the back and I'm like feeling a little bit more comfortable with it.
Is okay.
He seems like he gets how to drive these things. And then we're at a spot at an intersection ready to turn. So we're waiting.
Oh, no.
I know. And as he turns, I see it happening, but like it doesn't turn. It's like just like going, okay, so we're right here at the side of the street, and there's the other street, the sidewalk. So instead of turning, it doesn't turn. And it goes right up to the sidewalk. But as it, like, right before we get to the edge, then it turns. And so we're like, what? The whole time. And my leg hanging over the moped, because we tipped a little bit, gets dragged along the sidewalk, the cement, right?
Oh, no.
So it's like, zoom, and then it falls and crashes. And he gets off. He's like, what just happened? And I'm like, you didn't turn. You didn't turn. How did you not turn? Like, what just happened? And then I look down, and I'm like dripping with salt water right into my wounds on my leg, because it was like my knee was all cut up. And then my foot that got drug along.
Ouch.
Bad enough that I couldn't feel one part of my
oh my gosh
my foot. Anyway, so I'm like sitting there and I'm standing there looking at it and I'm like, what just happened? What just happened? What did you do?
Your poor husband's probably like,
well, first he jumps up. He's like, did I break it? Did I break the moped? And I'm like,
oh no, that's you.
I know.
Oh no.
So I'm like sitting there. He's like, do you know how much money it's going to cost if I broke this? And I'm like, look at my leg.
You injured me.
Then he turns around and he's like, whoa, you're bleeding. Oh, really?
I feel really bad for your husband here, actually. Like, this is really bad.
So then he's like, what do I do? And the moped won't start.
Oh,
and
no.
So then we're like, okay, what
Boat's
do we
leaving,
do?
fees
so
coming
now,
up.
Right? So now he's like, here, let me just hide the moped really fast. So he hides it. No. So I'll finish selling it. So he hides the moped so nobody will come and steal it.
Okay.
And so he covers it. Then he walks me back over to the boat, all the way up onto the boat into our room.
Yeah.
And it's like getting time, like, right?
I'll be back, honey.
Right, exactly.
You're sitting there injured, like,
and so, but like he takes me all the way back to the room.
Wow.
Because I can't, like, I can walk, but it's just like, ow, this hurts so bad. And then I get up in the shower and I'm just trying to clean off all the gravel in there and everything. Oh. And I'm like, I don't do well with cuts and sores and everything. So I'm like bawling. Usually I'm like, I can hold it together, but I'm like, I don't even care. This is so horrific. I'm like bawling up there trying to clean it up. He's like, I gotta go take care of the moped. I'll be right back. So he runs down, goes and gets the moped where he hid it. Takes it back. So then he runs back on the boat and he's like, I took care of it. I took care of the moped and everything. I'm going to run down to the little first aid place and get some Band-Aids and triple antibiotic and all this stuff. Neosporin. So he comes back up and then that night we had to go to dinner and I'm like, I think I'm staying in. So for the rest of the vacation then I
hobbled around.
I was hurt. Yes.
It's like bad decision after bad decision
I
after
know,
bad decision, you guys.
I'm like, and the whole time I'm like, I
were you
told
guys-
you we shouldn't have gotten the moped. He's like, but we wouldn't have had that great time at the beach, would we? I'm like, was it worth it?
Oh, yeah. No.
But I will say the little first aid care thing at the cruise is expensive. Those Band-Aids and the trip one is so expensive. It was ridiculously expensive. I think we spent like $50 on a couple of Band-Aids
Yikes.
and some Neosporin.
Wow.
Just to wrap it for the days that we were going to be there.
Yeah. I feel like on vacation, like I get numb to the pricing. I'm just like, it is what it is, and there's no way around it.
That was it is what it is. Because like, what am I supposed to do?
Am I not going to get my Band-Aids?
Just bleed out? We can't afford the Band-Aids.
My husband was like, here's some tissue. Get some Vaseline.
Maybe some paper towels. Anyway, so that was probably my most horrific experience.
That sounds terrible.
It was all one vacation. And I had a great time. It was so fun.
Don't you start thinking the whole time, like, should I really be here? Was this the right choice?
Well, no. Should we have gotten the moped?
Okay.
That was it. I knew I had reason to be scared of those things.
Yeah.
But I want to see like what other moms and parents are saying about vacationing, camping, trips, and how to do that with big families.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So this dad is saying how the vacations feel like more like work now than they do an actual vacation.
Yep.
So they went and booked like a beach condo. And they're spending a week at the beach. They have a 4-year-old, they have a 1.5-year-old, and then he has a pregnant wife. And so, right? And so he's like, okay, one of the kids wakes up at 5:30 in the morning.
What?
The other one doesn't take a nap anymore. And so by the end of the day, they've been up from 5:30 a.m. until 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And it's with kids, obviously. So then by the end of the day, then the wife's like, oh, I'm going to bed. Puts the kids to bed and everything. So he's sitting there like, okay. So he has a couple of glasses of wine by himself. And he's just like, yay, vacation. How is this vacation again? Yeah. So first of all, to me, I'm like, it's not vacation for the parents. Some of the people were responding to this and they were like, well, vacations for parents is just parenting with different scenery.
Yeah.
It looks a little different. Yeah. And they were like, and a little bit more inconvenient because you don't have everything that you need when you need it. Yeah. But like the idea of going to California and everything and Disneyland with my kids, it's not going to be like oh, we're just going to chill. It's going to be vacation. We're going to hang out. No, it's a lot of work. Yeah. It is a lot of work. Yeah. Like I was saying, we're like freezer meals packing. We're packing clothes. We're packing this. We've got everything scheduled. And it's just like you have kids. Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah. But at the same time, if you walk into it knowing that, it's a lot easier.
The expectations, absolutely.
It's a lot easier. Because if you walk into it thinking you're going to get a break too.
No.
You'll be very disappointed.
I think also in letting, like, knowing what is vacation for your whole family. Yeah. So for me, like, when we went to St. George, I'm like, for my kids, it's like hanging out with their friends and stuff and just chilling. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, we let the house go. We let all these other things go to, like, lower the expectations. Yeah. And also, for me, I tend to get super bitter. So I'm like... So I would be upset if things weren't like on schedule. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a vacation too this time, y'all. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to be the one to get up and do all the work and do every something. Like you guys can carry some of it, but try to like prepare yourself for it.
Right. Exactly. I feel like preparing yourself and then like you were saying, like lower your expectations a lot. I am very like schedule. Everything has to be just so, and it's not going to be that much during this trip. Yeah. Like, yep, we're going to be staying up late some nights until 10 p.m. because the kids napped on the trip down and they stayed awake. And so that's my biggest thing is that as I plan this, like I'm planning almost every detail, but I'm also understanding that it's probably not going to happen. Right. It's probably not going to happen this way, and that's okay too. Because whatever happens, I am walking into it knowing it's a family vacation, not my vacation. Right. And then it's just more like it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see the kids experience this. They've got a lot of energy. They have high energy. And so if I can direct it where I want it, then it overwhelm me as much.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I think is when you plan vacations that aren't kid-friendly and try to turn that into a family vacation.
Don't even do it.
It's not that fun.
Yeah, don't
I'll give you an example. On my way down, because we're in Utah and we're going to travel all the way to California, we got to stop somewhere in between. And so in my mind, my choices were either St. George or Las Vegas. What's like a kid place to go?
Keep your eyes down, kids. Wait, don't look down either.
I know. Oh. But it's like not only that, but like if I go to Vegas, what are they going to do?
Yeah. Yep.
What can kids do?
I actually want to know, what do people do in Las Vegas with their kids? Because I hear that. We're in Las Vegas with the kids. To do what?
But see, most of the time, then they're just like, oh, we go to a restaurant. Yeah, but like...
Yeah, but where's the vacation part?
Yes, exactly.
What's fun? Is there like fun hotels? I want to know.
I do too. I'm very curious.
Because it sounds fun.
It does, but then like, what are you going to do? So then for me, I'm like, I'm going to go to St. George. They can hike. Kids like to hike. Yeah. There's a children's museum down there. Yeah. There's parks down there. It's beautiful very parks. Kid friendly. Like it's a kid vacation spot. Yep. And so I'm like, you think about these things. Yeah. I'm not going to stop in Vegas because like I don't know what I would do with them.
I'd try as kids.
But in St. George it's like, okay, you go and play. I can and I will say I take them to places that I can sit back and let them go a lot.
Smart
right?
Mom. She's smart. She's so smart, you guys.
It is, because you go to a park.
Right.
And you can sit back and watch your kids play most of the time.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, it really helps to train your kids first. Because I do have really good kids, but they are trained as far as what I expect out of them. So I'll explain to them, even like Roman, who's 2, I'll be like, hey, this is the area you can stay in. You can't go over there because I can't see you over there. Yeah. And he knows. Because he's been trained. I've taken him to plenty of parks before, and I've shown him, and I've taught him. Yeah. It pays off. I guarantee it pays off. Training them first so that you can feel like you're in a vacation too. Yeah. That's what I would recommend for anybody going on vacation. Know that it's not a break. It's not a vacation for you. But it doesn't, like, it also is coming away from the real world.
I think that's a big nice part. Too. It's like unplugging, and for me, as parents, I think vacation is like unplugging and just being with your kids, like without everything spending around,
like taking just games, games at the hotel instead of like flipping on the movie or a TV the whole time, like we'd do at home. I'm just kidding. Then we'll bring games and like we'll actually like play together. Yeah. So
I wouldn't do that, but
you're not gonna bring games?
No.
Yes. No. It's gonna be so fun.
We're not game people, I guess.
Oh, my kids love it. No, you should see them play charades. Oh, it's the funnest. Now, this one says, "What's the story behind your family's worst vacations?" Kind of like how we were talking about all the horror and terror stories that we've had on vacation. Everyone has it. Yeah. So this girl, she was 17 when her family decides they want to go camping. And they're at the lake. And the first day she trips and she falls like butt down on a rock. Ouch. And so she has a huge bruise. And that same day she goes out on a boat with her brother, and then they get in trouble because they don't have a license for the boat. So they're like, oh, okay. So they go back. And then the next day, she gets pooped on by a bird.
Oh my gosh. Go home.
She steps on a fishing hook.
Oh.
After that. And then she's in the bathroom, and there's a little girl in the bathroom, and the mom comes in to yell at her to tell her that she's taken too long. So as she's walking out, the mom's coming in, smacks the door open, and it hits the girl's leg like really hard. And she's like,
oh my gosh.
Oh. And then the last day that she's there, she falls down a hill and gets banged up pretty bad. Yeah. And this is like, she's 17 when she's saying this. This is her family's camping trip. She's like, I'm 37 now. I haven't gone camping since.
Sometimes you just take the hint. You know, just go home.
Camping, there's not a single time I've gone camping with my kids without them as a kid, whatever, that something terrible didn't happen.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Somebody always gets hurt.
Yeah.
Somebody's always like, it's not ever been major. Oh, although one time when I was a kid, my entire family went camping at a place. And I'm going to tell you this story really fast. And my cousin, she's going to hate me when she hears this story being told. But, like, we were camping, and so we all were up at, like, the top of the hill. At the bottom of the hill, a ways away, there was a little lake. At the top of that hill to the lake was a van, a vehicle, one of my aunt's vehicles. And so the kids got in the vehicle and they were playing in the vehicle, and the emergency brake was put on. It was put on. And then the kids were playing in it. Oh, no. And my cousin, she's like, I want to pretend like I'm driving the van. So she gets up in the front and she's like messing with all the gears and everything. And she puts down the emergency brake and the van starts to roll down the hill to the lake. That's where it's heading. But,
oh my gosh. This is like nightmare.
I know. So the girls, there were like 3 of my cousins in that van at the time. And so as soon as it starts rolling down the hill, they're like, oh, what do we do? And so they're standing in there and they're like, I don't know what to do. So one of them opens the door to the van and like jumps out.
I would be that person. I would be out of there.
And jumps out of it, and like it's going faster down the hill. So then the other ones are like, hurry. So they jump out too. Barely before it gets into the water, all of a sudden there's like a rock at the bottom of the thing, and the van stops at the rock.
Wow.
And nothing happens to the van. No damage or anything, but the girls are like scrubbed up because they jumped out of the van down the hill. But that was an experience on one of my camping trips when I was little.
Lock your vehicles.
Lock them, and then tell your kids, don't play in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Don't show them. Don't mess with the
YouTube videos. Stuff. This is what can happen, y'all.
I know. Anyway, so camping is not my favorite thing.
It's hard. I don't know.
It's hard.
Everybody loves it, but like, what kind of camper are you? Are you like...
I'm like, bring a trailer or a camper.
Right. So we upgraded and got a camper, right?
Yeah.
My world changed.
I love so
camping.
Bad. It wasn't so
there's
bad
a
anymore.
Shower. There's a fridge. There's a stove. I'm like, this is my kind of camper. I could do this.
I know. We do really great. And as far as like packing meals, we do the... hobo dinners, right? Where you put them on the fire. We do like a mountain man breakfast.
I don't like those. Yeah.
You don't like them?
I don't know. Everything doesn't cook evenly, and it's just I was like, it's somebody forgot the ketchup.
We have learned since then. We cook the food first, stick it in the tin foil, put it on the fire, warm it up,
smoke it.
Ta-da! It's done.
Okay.
So we do it that way. We also do hot dogs. We do mountain man breakfast.
What is that?
Like that. It's so good. So you take a, what are those called?
Griddle?
No, the like pans that you take camping. They're like big. What are they?
Cast iron?
Maybe? I don't know.
Cast iron stove, yeah.
No, it's not a stove. It's like a really big pot.
No, it's like a big, huge, thick, it's cast iron pot.
Pot, yeah.
Yeah.
So you take that.
A Dutch oven.
Yes, there you go.
I got it.
It's a Dutch oven. Okay. So there you go. I couldn't come up with it. Okay,
I tell you, her pregnancy brain wears off onto everybody.
So you take the Dutch oven and you put in there some already, like the frozen, already cut up potatoes.
Yeah.
That are, it's not the hash brown ones, it's the southern.
Cubed.
Yep, there you go. Cubed potatoes. I know what I'm saying. I swear I do.
We're just trying to figure it out.
It's those, and then sausage and bacon and peppers, green peppers, red peppers and things like that. That's so good. Okay. And onions. And then eggs. And then cheese on top.
Wow.
It's so good.
Yum.
It's really good. Go to the next story. I'll hurry.
This is a fun one. We have a lot to say.
I know. I can't stop talking. Okay, so this one, I liked this story because it was a family that was going to Disneyland. So among those, all the people, there were the adults and then like 9 kids that they all shared. So they're from Canada. So they go to California. And while they're there, so it's a 16-year-old that's telling the story. He's the oldest of all the 9 kids. Okay. And his aunt has like 3 kids. He's like 2 of them are really high maintenance, spoiled, bratty kids. Yeah. And the other one is just like a wimp. He's like, can't do anything.
Love these kind of people.
Love them. So he goes on family vacation with him. And the entire like trip, they go to Disneyland, and he's missing out on some of the rides because his aunt needs a break from her own kids at Disneyland. So he's staying back from some of the rides to watch the kids, and then they go back to the hotel, and all the adults are like, we need a break, we need to go out and do all the fun adult stuff.
Gosh,
so he is there, the 16-year-old, with all 9 of the kids, sorry, 8, because he's one of the 9, all 8 of the kids, tending them, while everybody else is out and playing. Mm-hmm. And he's like, this was not a family trip that I imagined it would be. Going to California with your family, apparently it's not that fun. Yeah. When you do it that way. So don't do that.
Don't be those parents. Don't. That's another thing is when you go on vacation with your kids, let it be a vacation for your kids.
Exactly.
Let them enjoy.
This is like what I was saying. You don't walk into it thinking that you're gonna have your vacation of your dreams. Yeah. It's not. No. It's not that way.
There's a reason they say you need a vacation from the vacation, because you really do.
You do. You get home and you're like, okay, I am wiped. It's my turn.
I don't see anybody for 24 hours.
Get out of my face. I know. So that was a fun experience, but I'm like, okay, but see, this is where I'm going to pull my pregnancy card and be like, okay, I'm being with the babies. Yeah. And the older kids are going to go and get to do all the fun stuff.
You guys go enjoy. I will too.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to love going back to the hotel and taking a nap. I'm just saying. Yeah. Okay. This one's fun too. So this family decides that they're going to go to the Gold Coast in Australia.
Wow.
And they are going to have the time of their lives. They're going to go to all the theme parks. They're going to go to all the beaches, and everything's going to be super duper fun. But then... So there's this one girl, I know, this is the main girl, and she's like, let's get up and go to the amusement park at 8 a.m. Yeah. Everyone's going to get up at 7 a.m. We're going to grab some quick breakfast on the way and then get to the theme park. Like, that's what we're going to do. Yeah. So the first couple of days, then she gets up 7 a.m. She's like ready to go. Nobody gets out of their beds until like 9 a.m. Yeah. And then they're like, oh, let's have breakfast. So they put out this huge display of breakfast. Yeah. Everybody eats it. They take their time. And in the meantime, the mom's like, oh, let me do a load of laundry really fast while we're home and everything. Yeah. And everyone's trying to get ready. By the time they get everything cleaned up, it's time for lunch. Yeah. And so they pull everything back out and have a great big lunch. And she's like... Like, come on, guys. Yeah. By 2 p.m., they finally get it all cleaned up, and everyone's like, oh, let's just watch some daytime television, Dr. Phil, and some soap operas or whatever. Finally, by the evening, they're like, maybe let's step down and walk over to the beach for a little bit, but we're not going to be out late because we have a bunch of teenagers, and that's not good for them to be up late, out partying, right? They literally spent the entire week doing that. Uh-huh. They spent all this money to go vacation. Yeah. Didn't even go to any theme parks. Yeah. Didn't go to the beach. They spent the entire day living boring, same routine that you would live at home.
There are different types of vacation people.
Just somewhere else. And I'm
find
like,
your crew, man.
Ooh, that would be so frustrating. How could you do that? I would go nuts. Yep. You don't, and for me, like, I'm like, that's such a waste of money. Yeah. If I'm going to do the exact same thing, I'm going to stay home and do it.
There really are different type of vacationing kind of people.
I cannot believe that they would do that, spend all that money, go to the Gold Coast in Australia, and sit in the hotel.
Yeah, no. I would be out touring. Why?
Exactly.
I want to experience it all.
Exactly. Yeah. One thing that I was going to say, though, on the whole vacationing with kids, getting into the mindset, like how I was saying, plan your trips around your kids if you're taking them. Yeah. It's the same kind of thing. Like, I think it's ridiculous when people are like, oh, let's go to, like, Europe or England or something and go sightseeing and everything with your kids. Because I'm like...
They don't like that.
They don't care.
They do not like that.
They don't care. I mean, like, I get it's cool and everything, but you have to have an appreciation for that. Yeah. So what a waste of time and money. Even though they're, like, around and everything, like, that's not a kid vacation. Yeah,
they wouldn't appreciate it.
They wouldn't. It's not a kid
vacation.
Leave
them home. Go have your vacation.
And the other thing that I was going to say is funny to me is sometimes I see moms on family vacations or, like, family days. They take their family to the park or to something, and they come full glam, decked out as a mom, ready to party. And I'm like, with who?
With your kids.
With your kids.
It's for the pictures.
I mean, I get it. I get being cute for the pictures, but, like,
There's a natural way. I think you can glam naturally.
My brain around it, because I'm like, I have this hair, right?
Yeah.
You think it's gonna be down a single day in St. George in California?
Be cute with high ponies.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I'm like, to come out all glammed and full face of makeup and fake lashes and your hair is all boom and beautiful and you look like you're going on a date with your spouse. I'm like, oh,
I literally,
what are you doing?
I saw this girl on Instagram and I was like, she's going to Disneyland. Her schedule, she got up at 4:30 or 5 a.m. just to glam for her day at Disney.
But
just to be
why?
full glam. Then the other kids got up and she spent like an hour getting them ready for just to go out. I'm telling you.
Why?
I would need my sleep way more than that.
My kids are cute enough that I don't have to glam them up to take pictures of them and have cute pictures at Disneyland. And maybe it's a preference thing because I can't stand having my hair on my neck when it's hot. Yeah. And when I'm trying to get something done and I've got babies and everything that I'm, shuffling around and everything, if the hair's down, it's getting pulled and it's getting pushed over here and it's tangled and it's matted and it's nasty. So I'm like, I don't understand this. Even for my kids.
Who are you people?
Exactly. For my kids, I'm like, okay, braids and everything to tie it up out of your face so that you can go play. That you can just not have to worry about your hair.
So you're not do any makeup or nothing?
Oh, I like makeup.
To feel cute.
I'll do makeup.
I like to be
out
and just
without makeup.
I like the confidence. I like to feel good.
Right, but
even
like
camping, I put my makeup. I really do, but like in a natural way that you wouldn't know I had makeup on.
Right.
You would never know.
You'd never know. But like the makeup is gonna be like my eyelashes, maybe my eyebrows, maybe some blush, but like
keep it simple and clean.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I find it funny because I'm like, okay, like who are you here for? Are you here to be a mom or are you here to like turn heads?
It really is.
Yeah. And like do your thing, but I'm just saying. I don't get it. When you're there for the kids, then like be there for the kids. It's the same thing I was saying before. Yeah. So, vacationing is going to be fun. I'm so excited. We're heading out Friday morning and we won't be back.
You're going to pack the night before, right?
Oh,
you're
for sure.
Full. Have you ever tried to pack on the day you're leaving?
No.
Don't do it. We used to try that. We learned real quick.
Yeah.
Pack the night before.
We're packing the night before. We'll get the van all loaded up and everything so that it's ready to go because I'm not leaving first thing in the morning, but I just want to like chill that morning. Plus, I cannot leave my house a mess. It must be like everything.
That's why you leave first thing in the morning. I'm like...
No, that's why we'll take our time in the morning.
No, you get everything
breakfast,
perfect the night before.
Clean it up.
No. Yes. I don't even let them eat.
You're like, we're leaving. We're
I'm literally like literally like put your clothes on. Like we wake up, brush teeth, like comb hair, put everything away, like straight to the car. Like get out.
Don't touch anything and don't breathe.
I am
don't move.
serious.
No, like it'll be fine.
Okay.
It'll be fine. We'll have breakfast. We'll clean up. We'll make sure that we didn't forget anything. We'll go through the house and just do a quick little run through. And by the time I leave my house, we'll be like,
can some people leave their house messy, right?
I can't stand it.
Can you imagine? And I always tell the kids when we come back home, I'm like, how does this feel, you guys? Feel it.
No.
Do you see this?
I know.
We even put like our wall scents on.
So that when you walk in, then you're just like,
yeah,
it feels so good. I do the same thing when I go out of the house for like a day activity. We clean before we go so that when we come home, it's like, guys, do you feel how good?
We'll watch a movie. No games. We'll watch a movie.
No games. Okay. Anyway, vacationing is going to be fun. Happy summer. Be smart when you're planning your family vacations and have fun.
Chill.
Bring it down. Lay back a little bit. It's okay. That's what I tell myself all the time. It's okay.